10 Cancer Symptoms Most People Ignore. Before you good deal that chronic cough is really each different segment of flu season, you would likely choose to ask your health practitioner to deliver it a 2D glance. In line with a brand new find out about by means of manner of most cancers research UK, greater than 1/2 of adults have professional alarm bells that ought to advise cancer, but virtually % of them believed maximum cancers might also want to be a pause here. We take a seem to be at the 10 signs and symptoms researchers consider to be pink flags. Even as they may want to be not anything, the researchers say the thing is to understand that they should moreover be most cancers, and to ask your scientific health practitioner to check your signs and symptoms out. 1. Persistent cough or hoarseness. Even as a cough right here and there is not anything to worry. Approximately, a regular cacophony or a cough followed by way of blood is clearly cause for situation. Most coughs are no longer cancer, most cancers middle. However, certainly a power cough wishes to be evaluated to see if it ought to be lung. Most cancers. Your doctor should advocate a chest X-ray or court test to rule out most cancers as an opportunity. 2. Chronic change in bowel habits. Whilst your bowel actions are not as convenient as they as quickly as had been, or your stool seems massive than normal or specifically deformed, this must be a sign of most cancers. It must be a signal that there may be a mass impeding the transit of the stool from the bowel. This is a symptom the vicinity a individual have to go to the doctor and timetable a colonoscopy to peer if there definitely is a mass. 3. Persistent alternate in bladder conduct. If there may be blood within the urine, that have to be indicative of bladder or kidney cancer, but more often that is a sign of a urinary tract contamination, says Bartholomew Bevers. Check for an infection first, then pursue extraordinary remedy options. 4. Persistent unexplained ache. Maximum pain is not a signal of cancer, however strength pain need to be checked out, says Bartholomew Bevers. When you have chronic complications, as an instance, you likely do not have genius cancer, but it's far although a few issue that must be seemed into. Continual ache within the chest ought to be a signal of lung cancer. And pain in your belly should be ovarian. Most cancers. 5. Exchange in the arrival of a mole. Even as no longer all moles are indicative of cancer, recognizing a brand new mark or one that has changed as some element you have to deliver up with a dermatologist who can show screen for pores and skin. Most cancers, says Bartholomew Bevers. Eyeball reason. 6. A sore that does not heal. When you have a sore this is placing on previous the 3-week mark, you should supply it up together with your medical doctor. We'd have anticipated our physique to have healed itself via now, says Bartholomew Bevers, and also you must honestly get that looked at. That form of sore can also need to be a sign of carcinoma. 7. Unexpected bleeding. Vaginal bleeding outside of your regular cycle may be an early sign of cervical. Most cancers, while bleeding from the rectum have to factor out most cancers, says Bartholomew Bevers. Associated 10 weird things that ruin your immune system. 8. Unexplained weight reduction. As adults, we try very hard to shed pounds, says Bartholomew Bevers. But if weight is falling off of you besides any effort on your element, that could be a large challenge and may be indicative of an extreme clinical hassle. This sort of issues, she says, ought to be malignancy or a tumor. 9. An unexplained lump. Any time you have got a lump this is new, or a lump this is changing, this is some element you need to genuinely have regarded at via your doctor, says Bartholomew Bevers. Whilst it should be a benign cyst, and in all likelihood is, it ought to moreover be, a most cancers this is in the subterranean tissue. A lump inside the breast, of path, is a completely frequent symptom of breast. Most cancers. See your health practitioner to get greater information. 10. Chronic problem swallowing. 2 cancers may also be within the back of this symptom, collectively with neck and esophageal. Most cancers. Folks who see these signs will frequently begin to regulate their diets, ingesting softer food barring thinking there need to be a more extreme difficulty. The bottom line, says Whitaker, is that if human beings are experiencing any persistent signs, they need to go to their physician for advice.